Hi. Hey healers. I know you can't see me. I have a message for you guys. I don't know what it is yet, but we're gonna find out together. All day I've just had so many words going through my head. And I know I have some messages for you guys. Tune in. I'm gonna start doing weekly channel messages because I know usually like I'll have a certain amount of hold on one second. He wants to sit here. Here. You can sit here. All right. So, yes, you guys. Usually, like, I have a certain amount of messages that I'll be like, okay, there's like 6 spirits that want to talk to 6 people. And so then if I'm doing readings or something like that, then there'll be 6 people that'll show up and I'll have a message for each of them. But these past few weeks, the amount of people that the spirits that are showing up that are they're dead people, there's so many of them. It's getting like exponentially higher. So I realized this is for the collective. Like there's no way I'll be able to sit and read for this many people. So this is for the collective. So that's what these channeled messages are for, just to connect with the collective. Honestly, I'm sitting here in total fucking chaos, like, and I really I was just like, you know what, nothing else matters right now but doing this live stream. There's so many things on my mind personally. Oh, hi, kitty. He's back. I cleared off a space so that you can sit over there. Go ahead. Or you want to sit on my lap? He's back, you guys. This is so cute. If you guys saw the last video, you know, he featured prominently in that video. So he wants my attention right now. Here, come sit on my lap. Come on, baby. Move. Move. I can't help you. You're so cute. We haven't even gotten that much time together lately. We haven't even gotten that much time together lately. I'm so silly. Look at his face. It's freaking cute. If you guys look at his face, come on, look over here, kitty. He shows you his face. He looks like he has a picture of a cat on his face. Okay, I cleared this spot just for you, so you can stay here with me while I'm doing my video. So let me see if you will do that. Good boy. Good boy. All right, that's good. Yay. Get comfy, kitty. Do not fuck with that. All right, y'all. Hi, welcome. Welcome in. All right, y'all. Now that that's out of the way, I'm just still getting settled into my new place. I love it here. If anybody wants to shop with me, I'm going to be spending money on furniture this month. I got myself the bare minimums that I needed, but there's more stuff that I need. And thank you for everybody that has been shopping with me. We've been doing this class series that's been really cool. And yeah, so I just pulled this card, expect powerful change. Sorry guys, I know the video is a little grainy, but I just really need these dark vibes in here today. So yeah, this class series that we're doing, like, because basically the way things work when you're working with me is that everything builds on one another. And I decided to do this summer class series because I felt like there were some gaps where my students could learn more that would help them with their practice, with both their own personal healing and the work that they do with other people. So we've already, whew, and a lot of people probably wouldn't realize or think of like what these things have to do with one another and how they go together. But the way my mind works, it puts things together in a really amazing way that like, so because of the work that we've been doing with this class series, as well as the secret Bad Bitches Only class series, which I'm actually going to be releasing the last class in that series to the public, which is exciting because I had to go through my own shadow work process of feeling comfortable to offer some of these topics publicly. So our classes that we've already done we did our shadow workshop. We started with our shadow workshop. And we did a financial domination 101 class that was really fun. And last week we did the contract clearing class. So a lot of people probably wouldn't realize like what these things all have to do with one another. But if you take the classes, you'll see. And so expect powerful change. The stuff that we've been doing is powerful, combined with the ritual with the course. It's one of the major things that's happening right now is that we're sort of accepting like our prowess and our powers, and just how dope we truly are. Like there isn't a need for as much of the like codependent tendencies that we might have engaged in before out of fears and feeling like lack of worthiness, lack of self-worth, or the very real fear of survival, of like needing to be liked and needing to be special and helpful and seen in some way for survival's sake. There's a major third eye activation. Oh yeah, so that's what I wanted to tell you guys. So next month's series of classes is going to be so awesome. First of all, it's going to start off with the new earth activation, which is going to be activation, initiation, download session where it's essentially basically an integration for the new light codes which have come from the solar flares that we've been experiencing, especially this summer. It's activation within your starseed lineage and basically a recalibration of shadow and light within the self so that those solar codes can be anchored within the body and really truly expressed. It's a special time for me because it's like I'm getting to a new level of comfort with how I talk about these things and the multidimensional nature of our reality. It's very real for me. And the disconnect is between feeling it and experiencing it versus verbalizing it. But that's one of the areas that I'm gifted at, is being able to verbalize these things. So the more that I practice, the more I'm able to do it. And that's been the fun thing about teaching these classes, because like I used to go live for hours a day. Some of you guys know that. And I'm planning into my schedule more where I'll be able to go live with you guys more often, both here on YouTube and in my app. Usually I pretty much just do it. Like I just decide to go live, and then I will. But I'm going to start having like specific times so you guys know where to find me. But so because I've been I've been doing this work internally, and then I've also been building on the layers that have been created by the previous classes with the shadow workshop, where I'm really integrating the different sides of myself. Because like while I'm guiding you guys through these processes, I'm doing them for myself too. So, even just speaking about the financial domination, like speaking about something that is pretty taboo and not known about to a lot of people, this is part of my new earth activation. It's just getting deeply comfortable with myself and who I am. So we're going to be doing the new earth activation. We're going to do a session with light languages where I'm going to like teach you guys. I'm going to teach you guys through speaking light languages, and I'm going to support you in like opening up space to activate your own light languages. Practice speaking them, and we can all talk together. So it's really cool because light languages are basically your galactic dialect, and it's also known as speaking in tongues. It's another way to communicate. It's like, sometimes it can be frustrating to have the limits of English. So this is a really good way to free yourself up and express things that have no words in other languages. And then we're going to be doing the next class in the series on ascension symptoms. And that's just basically how to get through your ascension symptoms, like which are, all different types of experiences that would normally be labeled as sickness or illness or pain. But they really signify that you're releasing on a deeper level, your body structure is changing. And so I'll be talking about how to get through these things. And I'm going to announce it later, but I have a really special class, which, like I was telling you guys, this is the third class in the series of the Bad Bitches Only series, which is a series that I did just for my private members on my app, because these were topics that I felt needed a lot of sensitivity, and also I was more comfortable talking about them in a private group versus publicly. But I am going to be teaching this class publicly, this last class in the series, and opening it up to a wider audience, and it is clearing soul ties of sex slavery. So I'm really looking forward to that because yes, expect extremely powerful change from this work that we're doing to clear these soul ties. Because basically the meaning of this is that, like, for a lot of people, specifically people who are survivors of sexual assault and have experience with the adult entertainment industry, or would be in that pipeline to go towards that industry anyways, even maybe having experience of like childhood, like being sex trafficked as a child, or and like any other type of like ritual sexual abuse, any other type of these experiences like this. It's a lot deeper than just the surface level of it. These are old rituals, these are old rites, and a lot of times one of the things that I help a lot of my clients with is like healing from relationships in which they're not really in control, or they willingly give up control. Healing from being drugged, like repeatedly drugged. One of the scenarios that you can tell if you have some soul ties of sex slavery is if you get drugged at the club, if you've been drugged, and also if you like to get so fucked up that you black out or just get really fucked up on drugs. That's a good indicator that you have some of these soul ties. If you've ever been pimped, been in a pimping situation, an abusive relationship type situation, if you've ever like had any experience that feels like some type of mind control or something to where it doesn't make sense to you and you don't understand why you're like willingly giving up your autonomy. And it's like, I'm not talking about like a lifestyle BDSM situation or like a submissive dominant dynamic, dom sub dynamic, that's like by choice, but I'm talking about something that's like unconscious and not really, like like your power is going to get taken away through this situation, or you haven't fully owned your power in this situation. So by clearing these soul ties of like sex slavery, that's going to be a major establishment, reestablishment of power in the situation. Like, I just picked a whole bunch of different topics. I channeled these topics of things that I wanted us to work on. And so we're going to keep working. And then we have 3 more classes after that: spiritual inheritance, generational wealth, and spiritual relationships. So this whole series is going to continue building. And I'm really excited about it. I love it. All right. So moving on. I just wanted to tell you guys about that. Hi. Yay. All right. A time for healing. Bring love into the situation. Communication is key. All right, y'all. I hope you can see me because it says that my connection is unstable. I like how more people liked this video than have even seen it. How is that possible? I have the best supporters ever. I don't know how you guys do it. I'm so happy to see you guys too. I love it. It feels good to connect with you. Like I said, like I've been having just these streams of consciousness of words running through my head all day. So I'm gonna be channeling some messages for us. Gratitude is coming up. Gratitude is coming up a lot for me too. That really helps, you guys. That really helps. Seriously, like, to keep a gratitude journal. I knew I was gonna pull this card today. Gratitude, share your gifts. I was expecting to pull the card, share your gifts, because one of the things that's been coming up a lot is like insecurities, lack of self-confidence, and the inability to share your gifts because you feel a little persecuted, and you're definitely experiencing some wounds from the past that have you feeling persecuted. So you want to look at your ancestors. Where were they persecuted? Like what we're getting into right now, it's like for us to really feel our feelings to the fullest, we're being asked to confront all the things that have kept us from feeling those feelings, and they're located as energy blockages in the body. They're in the right side of the body. So basically what's happening is, because of not feeling these feelings have not been metabolized, and so they're blocking forward motion and future action. A lot of y'all are looking like, why hasn't such and such popped off yet? Why haven't I done so and so? Whatever. And it's because you're harboring unprocessed emotions, emotional baggage, and it's blocking this side, which this is the liver. So it's going to be coming up in the form of anger. And what you want to do with the anger is, like, don't get stuck in the angry part of it. This is what a problem with a lot of our society is, that people get stuck in the anger part, and then they go into a drama victim cycle. Narcissistic dynamic triangulation, and that's when people start going to people and complaining and venting. They call it venting, but it's like there's all these little power plays that underlay our reality and like how we interact, and so like it's like sometimes people think they need to vent, but what they like, they need to like figure out what they're supposed to do, but all they really need is just to feel that they're important and that someone cares and loves them. So it's not even about figuring out the solution to the situation, because a lot of my collective members like feel like you have to solve problems for people. Like when people come to you, you feel like you automatically feel like you're supposed to do something about it, but not necessarily. Like And so it's codependency. That was our last bad bitches only class, which, sorry you guys, that is available only to the bad bitches only. But that was our last class, was on codependency, healing codependent patterns, and that was called Save Yourself First. So if you are in the app and you are in our private members only section for bad bitches only, you can get that class. You can get the replay. You can get all the replays of my classes and sign up for future classes. And eventually I'm going to create a video vault that has like all my classes and my group healings and throughout all of time for you guys, because there's like so many juicy topics that we get into, and I never hear anybody talking about any of this stuff, like hardly any of this stuff. So it's exciting to be with it and be on the cutting edge of it. And it's also like, it gets scary. It gets really scary at times, because it's like, oh, I'm just going to be taking on the soul contracts of sex slavery. Like, I'm sure there's some powerful people that would be pretty pissed off about that. And there's always the assumption that people try to make, that's like, oh, well, you really think you're that important, or you're that influential, or you're that powerful that you can have an impact on it. There's certain things, like, you guys, we really can't. They're immovable forces. There are certain things, laws of nature and extremely old structures, that we can't really have much of an impact on. They are immovable forces, but we get to choose the way that we work within those structures. And we can go looking for our soul contracts and revoke them, because we have free will and consent. But a lot of these contracts get made non-consensually. People don't even know that they exist, and they're in all different relationships. And like, what will happen is that people see your gifts. They see how good they are, and they the way that because sex slavery undergirds our reality, these ownership dynamics within capitalism, within codependency, where it's like, if a person sees that you'll add value to them, and they're in a state of desperation, they'll cling to you, because that is what they feel that they need to do to survive. So relationships, I think the best relationship advice that I've ever heard is to be self-sufficient, and to have your own interests, and to have your own life, and be able to take care of yourself. Because if you're not able to take care of yourself, you'll be easily exploited in a relationship, because you'll have a need for things that you can't provide yourself. So you need that other person to provide them to you. It's different if it's like we have mutual needs that we like to provide each other, like sex. And one of the things that has been coming up a lot is like just different conversations around men and women. And what I realized is that a lot of people think that it's like, oh, if he only wants me for sex, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is that that's actually a good thing in some ways. Like, first of all, if you're going to be with a man, you should be so sexually attracted to him that you want to fuck immediately when you're around him and you see him. And if you don't, that's why sex work is the oldest profession. Is because people want sex, and they want to bypass that part of it. So for the modern woman, like, it's like you have to have a little something more. People are so used to historically, like, being able to buy other people, and being able to be attractive based on what they can provide to the partner. But the best thing is to not care about any of that. And the only way to not have to care about any of that is if you're self-sufficient, you're able to take care of yourself. And it's not necessarily easy, but it is. It kind of is when you're in alignment with who you are and what you're supposed to be doing. We deserve peace. This is the peace card. We just deserve a lot of peace and sharing our gifts. And yeah, like awakening, see, awakening, speak your truth, adventure. And I'm using the New Orleans Oracle deck. And this is like, it's such a whimsical vibe. It's an adventure. Speak your truth. You don't know what could happen. You don't know what could come from it. You don't need to hold yourself back any longer. We're getting ready to make more moves and do more things than we thought we could do before. And I titled this video I think I titled it Your Inner Light or You Are the Light or something like that. So it's about getting in touch with your core, plugging into your own core energy source and staying plugged into that. Staying on your own grid. All right, so Spirit, let's see, what do you want to talk to us about? In general, your ancestors have a lot of appreciation and gratitude for you, which is so sweet. Like, they're the elders, but they're grateful for you. That's so sweet. They are, of course. Like, they say that I'm the fulfillment of my ancestors' wildest dreams. Like, they're really pleased with your progress. Why do I keep swallowing shit? What the fuck is that? But because I really wanted to say this, that what they really wanted to say, like, they're really pleased with your progress, and they're like, for those of you guys that have been struggling with money, I'm gonna make another video about money addiction, talking about money addiction and what that is. Because, like, yeah, people will be like, what is that? Like, we need money to live, but it's the difference between like needing money to live, utilizing your resources versus like abusing them like a drug. So for some of you guys, you've been going through some things where you've had to like really like strictly budget and hold on to your resources. You can't overspend. You have to like spend wisely. And it's like that saying from the Bible, give us this day our daily bread. Like, literally only like you've literally been getting only your daily bread and no more. So you had to like make do with that every day, but you've been making it work. And this is so important because you have to heal that money addiction. So that way you can continue to be responsible with spending your wealth as it continues to grow. Strength, the wheel. Okay, then. Yeah. All right, you guys. So get some rest. One of the things we're showing here is like your the problems of basing your identity on like caring for others is because it's not sustainable, because other people will like latch onto that and bleed you dry. And this type of times that we're going into, and the type of lives that a lot of y'all live, you'll be like attracting too many vultures if you continue to like put yourself out there as like an empath. You have to do a little bit of renegotiating with your own personal boundaries and your own personal self-perception. So yummy. You have to do a little bit of renegotiating with your own boundaries and your own self-perception. You're working far too hard and the stress will soon become too much. Reach out for help from others and take some time to play and enjoy life. So, it's not about what you're doing, it's about how you're doing it, because you're beating yourself up, sort of using it as a way for you to be worthy, is by doing a good job. But that's not where your worth comes from. Your worth just comes from who you are. You don't have to do anything to be worthy. You just are worthy. And this is the financial healing right here. Is healing that worthiness wound. And like letting it teach you, okay, so the first step is admitting, if I want to heal my worthiness wound, the first step for me is to admit that I have it, is to admit, oh, I feel worthless. I feel like my value comes from how hard I work, how much money I can make, how attractive I am to certain person or people, how well I can take care of others. I have to earn love. I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy, is what the underlying belief here is. If I don't do it right, it'll be the worst thing ever, because then it means that I'm not worthy. So basing the self-worth on external factors, like what you can do and what other people think of you. Yeah, all the other, okay, so first of all, strength, the wheel, that's the wheel of fortune. And 10 of spring, that's 10 of wands, that's a big burden. The head, heavy is the head that wears the crown, that's the big burden. And then everything else we have is pentacles, it's all pentacles. 7 of autumn, that's pentacles. Ace of autumn, 6 of autumn, 10 of autumn, king of autumn. So this is talking about a harvest, reaping what you sow, a job well done, having patience, seeing it through to fruition. And Ace of Autumn, like the beginning, you can expect a windfall of abundance, such as money, timely assistance, a serendipitous meeting, or rewarding advice. You may be offered a fabulous new job or promotion, or the prospect of a profitable business venture or investment. So if you are trying to get a job or you've applied for a job, that's a good sign. You got it. You got it. And if it's not this one, it's something better that's coming. 6 of autumn, this is talking about receiving a scholarship, receiving a grant, or repaying a debt or giving back in some way. And 10 of autumn, that's generational wealth. Contentment comes from knowing that your finances are secure and your family's material needs are taken care of. It's important to honor traditions and have pride in your heritage and the accomplishment of your ancestors. Again, you are your ancestors' wildest dreams. They're so proud because, like, you get to do things that they wanted to do and they didn't get to do them, or they had to wait a really long time to do them. For example, I have my own apartment. My tata, before she died, got her own apartment, and it was like the most peaceful time in her life. And she wished that she had done this sooner. And for me, like, this is I don't want to share my space with anybody. This is my space. I don't want to share my space with anybody. It feels so good to have it to myself. So there are things that some of you guys are getting to do or getting to experience that some of your ancestors always wanted to, and they're really happy and they're excited and proud of you. And the fact that like we begin this reading with strength and the Wheel of Fortune, and we end it with the King of Pentacles, like, so it's showing that you really like you're managing your money well. Like you're doing everything right. You're setting yourself up for success. What's this? And again, like your success, you're just gonna have to get used to having haters, and you're just gonna have to get used to people trying to tear you down. It's only gonna get worse. I'm just being honest, because they're so threatened, because just like you have that worthiness wound, so do they. So for them to see you shining, that means they're not worthy. And most people live life with a win-lose mentality. So they feel like if you win, that means I lose. They don't feel like we can both win. And it's the end of that. It's the end of that for this collective. Like your boundaries are on point now. So you are, or if you have not yet, you will be able to cleanse yourself and recenter yourself to the degree that you're not a match to those type of experiences anymore. Codependency, jealous friends, controlling friends, fake friends, like because you've come into your own so much more, and you've been able to like protect, cleanse, shield your aura. You're not going to attract those type of situations, and anytime that you come across those type of situations, you'll be able to instantly see them for what they are, and you'll put the boundary there, and you're trusting yourself more too. So you know that it's right. Like, you know, when it's time to set the boundary, you understand why you're doing it, and you don't even have to understand. You don't ask questions. You just do what your heart tells you to do. And you're becoming, some of you guys, you're becoming more of a wife, is what I'm hearing. This is part of you becoming a wife, because your spirit is saying like you're bound. You're bound to be unsatisfied with the outcomes of your experiences when you have not prepared adequately for them. All right, that's another video that I've been wanting to make for months, which Spirit is telling me time is coming, and we'll talk about that later. All right, you guys. That is the message, but that was a really strong message that Spirit wanted to leave us with, which makes total perfect sense for Virgo new moon, which we had this weekend, which is you're bound to be unsatisfied with the results of the experiences that you did not adequately prepare for. Preparation is indicated. Get to journaling, get to planning, get to creating the outcomes that you seek. And you can do it, and it's the perfect time. And so between now and the next 2 weeks, which will be the full moon of, what full moon is that going to be, you guys? We just had Aquarius full moon, right? So it'll be the Pisces full moon. Is that right? Yeah, because Virgo is balanced with Pisces. Oh wow, this is gonna be so dreamy. So for some of you guys, expect a cosmic love affair and really open your mind. Hold on, before we go, I'll pull some love cards to talk about love, because we talked about money. Let's talk about love, but of course they go together. So like earlier, we said that you know, resting and putting those burdens down and dealing with that codependency and that inner worthiness wound was going to help bring the money. It's also going to help bring the love definitely. So let's see who we have here. You think you're trapped, but you're not. Yeah. So a lot of you guys are telling yourselves no. You're telling yourselves that like certain people don't want you when they actually do. I'm not trying to give you a big head, but you are very special to some of the people that are special to you. And it's really the end of you thinking that because this is a really hard pill to swallow, that by your lack of feeling worthy, you haven't felt you haven't felt worthy, so you felt insecure in your relationships, which lets you take things out on those people and treat them as if they didn't really love you when they really did. But just because you didn't get the certain addictive fulfillment that you were looking for, that was like the dopamine hit that you wanted, or just because of whatever lack of skill even on their part, as well as like choking the relationship and holding on too tight, all of these things like doesn't mean that the other person doesn't love you. It just means that, you know, there's some toxic dynamics there, really toxic, and it's best to squeeze them out. Stop playing victim. And like another thing too that's been affecting your relationships is finances. So because both people haven't been financially stable, so that's made it hard to come together in a relationship. Oh wow. um for a lot of you guys, like you are like a lot of you guys are dealing with the soulmate situation. I said oh wow because I pulled out the, oh yeah, and here's the Lovers card, of course. So I pulled the 10 of Summer, which is the 10 of Cups. That's unconditional love, happiness. It's the happiest card in the tarot. It's fulfillment of family life. And then on the other side of that, that was a Lover's card. And then on the other side of that is the Ace of Winter, which is the Ace of Swords. It's like basically reforming your standards and your quote unquote deal breakers, as well as your values, and getting clear on those so that way you can cut things off before it goes too far, when you know that your standards and your values, and your needs aren't being met or going to be met in the situation. But it's really great to take a step back and see like, okay, we need more work on ourselves individually so that we can come together as a stronger unit. And for those who are on their own without family, or with a family that has not the ability to support them in seeking out healthy partnerships, your work is, in some ways it's better, because it's like, I'm not gonna say better, but you have more work to do when it comes to creating your own stability and your own structure for seeking out a healthy relationship. Because not only are you doing it on your own, you have to check on the examples that you've been raised with so that you can look for any red flags within yourself, or any things that you'll be attracted to that might end up being harmful later. And so that's why the Hermit card is here. We have the World card and we have the Hermit card. And it's like, because the World card, because it's the end of you feeling like a victim, or feeling like you can't have what you want, or that you have to settle. It's the end of you choosing partnership out of survival mode, of like needing somebody and having to compromise yourself and do things you don't want to do, or be in situations you don't want to be in, because that's what you need to have, like, to feel special, to be chosen, and to feel worthy, because it's a survival instinct that you need this, this other person to care about you in order to survive. It's the end of all that for you. And so that really takes a sort of somber tone in going into the self and thinking, okay, well, so then if this is true and I really can have everything I want, what is it that I actually want? How do I want to feel on a day-to-day basis? What do I want to do on a day-to-day basis? How do I want to interact with a partner? Like, what do I want my life to be like, truly? And immediately as you start doing this, all these different opportunities pop up for you to express that. And it's like, people call it a test. It's not a test, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to demonstrate that, yes, this is me, this is my new vibration. And being gentle and patient with yourself to say, like, okay, say that the opportunity popped up and I was too scared and too shy, or didn't know what to do, didn't know what to say, so I missed it. It's okay. I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm just going to move on and prepare for the next opportunity. Okay? So we're being strong with ourselves, and we're giving ourselves good discipline and nurturing at the same time. And then that makes us more romantically attractive and emotionally available because we've cared for our own needs ahead of time. And also, like, you know, when it comes to sex, making sure that you already have had your sexual needs met, making sure that you have already had your conversational needs met, making sure your financial needs are already met. It'll make it much more much more enjoyable to date and to get to know others. Oh, wow. And so I wanted to pull one last card before we close out for the day, and it's the Fool card, but in this deck they're called the Dreamer. It's a doggy jumping over a river with a bunch of butterflies. You are starting a new adventure. Run free and take a leap of faith. Oh, wow. And on the other side, at the bottom of the deck, it's the Empress. Time to hop into action. Use your natural creativity to bring forth prosperity and success in your life. This is so exciting. So one of the things about the Empress is that she's very abundant. One of the things about the Goddess is that she's abundant. So all these questions, when it comes to like being in survival mode and not being able to survive, or depending on a man or anybody else to rescue, fix, save, when you're tapped into your creative gifts and you're in the flow of your own energy, it becomes very unnecessary because your gifts are so abundant that money is a natural side effect to them. So we know that if money is not flowing freely in our lives, that means that something is not working, something is broken, whether it's a generational curse, something bigger than us. This poverty is a generational curse, and it is planned via occult sciences. So either that or we're not in our destiny. And that those curses keep us from living in our destiny too. So we're always being presented with opportunities to flow as ourselves even more. And given the fact that we're ending on the Fool card with the Empress card on the bottom of the deck, it just completely ties into all the concepts of fertility, healing the mother wound, and sexual sovereignty that we talk about all day, every day. And if anybody doesn't want to be pregnant and might be pregnant, then you should probably check on that. If you might be pregnant and you do want to be pregnant, congratulations. You have a really good shot at that. And there is so much fertility in the air. For a lot of y'all, it's not an actual baby, it's an idea, whether it's like a new project or a creative venture that you launched or a business. And that fertility and prosperity, that abundant energy, it feels good. That's what we need right now. And we just want to vibe with that. And that's really going to help neutralize a lot of the feelings of powerlessness, worthlessness, and the perfectionism and how hard some of you guys can be on yourselves. Don't be hard on you. You deserve softness, boo. Did you guys like what? Did you guys like that? Did you guys like that? Don't be hard on you. You deserve softness, boo. All right, I gotta go. Clearly. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'm so glad that you're here. As always, this is Sarada Muladhara, the Root Chakra Goddess, signing off. Make sure you like, comment, save, share, subscribe, say mashallah, tell a friend to tell a friend, stream my podcast, Majnuni Confessions. I appreciate tips and all the love. Make sure you leave a comment. Let me know how this resonated for you. Yeah, I want to hear about it. All right, y'all. So, and join up with the supportive spiritual community on the Heaven on Earth app. Head to rootchakragoddess.love to find out all about it. Peace. Peace, healers. Masalama.